Hi everyone, welcome back to Alex Saberia's YouTube channel. My name is Emily and in today's video I will share how I created these two flower cards. I started off by doing this smooshing technique that has been around for a while. I don't know actually who I saw do this technique the first time. It could have been Christina Warner or maybe Tim Holtz or Jennifer McGuire, I don't know. But someone, not me, invented this technique where you just take the ink pads from the distress inks. You can do this with the distress oxides as well, and then you just press them down to a slick surface. I'm just using some recycled plastic, and then I'm spritzing it with water and just pressing my paper down. I'm using watercolor paper, so it can take a lot of water, but you can actually do this on any other paper as well, as long as you are heat setting it between so it doesn't be too much water in the paper. So I'm using a combination of pink, yellow, orange, and you can see I'm just smooshing this down a couple of times in different areas of the paper, just so I get a variety of colors. You can see the color is starting to build up, and I just wanted this to be quite fun and cheerful. Sorry about the glare, by the way, from my lights. Even though it's summer here, I needed to have a pretty strong light on because I wanted you to be able to see anything of what we are doing. So you can see here I'm just rotating my paper and I have two panels going at the same time. And I really love how this turned out. It's super vibrant, and I dried it a little bit in between so you can get those water effects. So here you see how this is turning out after letting it dry I think it was a couple of hours actually, because I went back a day later or a couple of hours later. I don't know exactly a long time that passed, but it wasn't like that minute it was done. So now I'm taking one of the press plates from Alex Saberia. This is the Summer Flower, and I'm just using black ink. You can see I had one ink pad first, and then I switched to Versa Fine Onyx Black ink. It's pretty much the darkest ink that I have in my stash, so I use that. And then I have my Better Press machine ready to go. I run it through, and you can see, since this was watercolor paper, it's quite textured. I didn't have a perfect impression, so I actually carefully, without shifting my plate, it's magnetic, but even though it's magnetic, if you press and pull, you could actually shift it. So I was really careful not to shift this one, and then I run it through again, and we got this really crisp, beautiful black result. I love how this turned out. So for my second panel, I was a little bit lazy and I accidentally shifted my plate. So you will see here the first turn was perfect. I used my Versa Fine ink the first time here, so I know I would get a good impression. Made sure that I had the right space for my panel, so I got that pink to show through. And then I run it through, and you can see now I actually shifted it. I think I did it off camera, so I decided not to run it through twice. So instead I went in with a marker and just went around the places that I thought was a little bit too light. So that turned out nice as well. Then I'm cutting this down to be the size I want my card front to be in. You can use any trimmer for this, and you can really see how beautiful that flower turned out. I am so happy with the result I got. After trimming this, I'm going to decide how I want these to fit on top of a card base. So you can see here a close-up of them first. I love that water technique. I think that is super fun for these projects. Now I'm taking some liquid glue, and for one of them I'm just pressing it down on top of a standard A2 size card front, and making sure that this is really pressed down. So I'm using something heavy just to have on top. Now I'm using my mobile phone. So for my second, I wanted this to be on a pink cardstock, so I had a bit of a shadow piece here. You can see I'm just having a border around it to tie it in with the pink that I had in my colors of my watercoloring. And to finish my projects off, I'm using two stamped sentiments. These are also better pressed sentiments. They come from the Essential Sentiment press plates, and I just stamped them in black on top of white cardstock, and I love how that turned out. I used some clear sequins to embellish these projects, and then they are pretty much finished. I hope you enjoyed this video and got inspired and got to see another way of how you can use your press plates and how you can color them in without any effort. I think this turned out so cute, and I will definitely be doing this in another video. So thank you so much for stopping by. I will have links down below for all of the products I used in this video, and I will see you soon. Bye!